Coming up on this exciting episode of the Angry Geek Show.
Dingleberry.
Comic books stacked, games on the screen, talking about the heroes and the ones in between. From Gotham to the stars, through the multiverse they go. It's Nerd Life Loud on the Angry Geek Show. They're angry, they're geeky, they're breaking it down. From cosplay queens to legends in town. Grab your popcorn, let your fandom flow. It's time to tune in to the Angry Geek Show. Superman debates, Boba Fett's jetpack, Marvel versus DC, no holding back. Con floor interviews, hot takes they throw. They'll nerd out with you on the Angry Geek Show. They're angry, they're geeky, they're breaking it down. Legends, creators, the best all around. Grab your Funko, your lightsaber glow. It's time to tune in to the Angry Geek Show. From horror flicks to retro toys, geek girls, geek guys making all the noise. With passion and heart, they're running the game. If you're part of the tribe, you're part of the flame. They're angry, they're geeky, they're breaking it down. Fandom united in every town. Con to con, let the good vibes grow. All hail the kingdom of the Angry Geek Show.
Hey, that's our power too sweet to be sour. We're funky like a monkey, and welcome to the Angry Geeks Hour. I am Lewis Perry, and with me, as always, is
Sophia Cormier, Dingleberry.
that's right. Hey, thank you guys for joining us. We got our guest in the back. He's late, but we're gonna bring him out in a second. And hey, thank you guys for joining us last Thursday on the River 93.9. And we had a blast. And yes, we will be back. We're going to be we got a relationship with them guys now, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I like the horns. It's very,
Oh.
very horny there.
You're growing on me, lady. You're growing on me. Yes, very horny. Yes. Yeah,
Hi,
you're
guys.
growing
Hey,
on me.
boys.
Oh, yeah, we got some comments coming in. But yeah, we got an awesome comic book we're going to talk about. What's crack-a-lackin'? Guy, how's the wife? How's the wife? Because Sophia, we was busy, so I didn't get any feedback or updates on your wife. I hope your wife is being okay. Void, what's going on, brother? And who is this? Hasn't Lewis always been horny? That's what Rose says. Yes. Rose always says that for
You ain't
sure.
wrong there.
No. Trev is in the house. Hey,
Trev.
what's going
Hello,
on, Trev?
Trev.
Yes.
Hi.
Anyway,
Dingleberry.
Dingleberry. Yes. I'm not going to ask you about anything about what you bought, what you got for this week.
Why?
Because I was with you. You bought a lot.
I want to show.
Well, quickly, because we got to bring our guest
ready,
in.
ready,
Because we
Kappa.
didn't. Yeah, Kappa. Yes, I know. I was there, and
Ready? Are you ready?
well, that had Rose laughing when we were eating family dinner. Okay. Trev says nice, and Mango says, but we don't know the things.
They don't know. See?
I know. I'll tell you what, Mango. She was like, we walked into the store. She's definitely the female Jar Jar. Hey, speaking of Jar Jar, he's in the house.
Hi, Jar Jar.
You did not pick up the phone when you
So
called.
sorry when we were like freaking out on the phone when you were on the phone. I'm sorry.
What do you mean?
When I was like, the dude was dancing and stuff, and then he hung up on us.
Yes, well, we all have to get together soon. Again, all of us. Yes, I will be Sophia won't be. She is booked again at another place, and Jar Jar is actually booked at another place. So the Angry Geeks are going to be separated this week once again, but I will be in alternate universe Milford.
Mhm.
So yes,
Hi, Ben. Hi,
I will
Rashi.
be back.
Hello.
Ben, we missed you at the Coffee and Comics.
Yeah.
Sophia and I were wondering.
Hi, Bill with
But-
1L. Your hair looks
Yes,
nice
Bill.
too.
All right.
Very
Bill,
nice.
yes. All right. So without further ado, this cat's got an awesome book that's coming out. I mean, it is just friggin' I read it last night. It's just amazing. It's if you take the Goonies and you mix it with Stranger Things, you put a little Spiderwick Chronicles in it, you're gonna get this book. It's called Far Down Below. You're gonna love this book, dude.
It's really
I
good.
mean, what did you think of it, Sophia?
I liked it. It was very cool. I like that it's like back in the 80s, right? It was in the 80s.
Yeah. I mean, that
And there
one
was a
panel.
lot of like nerd references in the background, like hidden in the background, like a lot of Star Wars. I saw some. Star Wars in
I
there.
knew you were gonna pick up the Star Wars stuff for sure.
Mhm, mhm.
But I do have a problem with the end of the book because it's a cliffhanger, and I want to talk
Oh.
to Chris about this because I'm gonna be like, dude,
Isn't that like
why?
purposely? So that
Yes, I know, but it killed me because I got there and
I
it was like
know. You're
just
like,
the last 4 words that you get is like, what the hell? In that one panel, I'm like, dude, come on. So without further ado, let's bring out the one and only Chris Condone. Chris, what's going on? How are you, buddy?
I'm
And
well. How are you?
man, dude, the book is rocking. I mean, like
you.
I said, you got a pinch of Spiderwick, a dash of Stranger Things, a bunch of Goonies, and a hot mom cooking spaghetti. I'm like, dude, the book is amazing.
Thank
Absolutely
you very
amazing.
much. Yeah, I describe it as the Goonies if it was written by Stephen King in the 80s. So,
hmm.
I
That's
definitely can
Yes.
see that. Definitely can see that. Now, the book is out now. So if you guys want, go to your LCS. You got free comic book day this weekend. Go get it off the shelves, okay? Go pick it up off the shelves. Like Sophia and I just read it. I read it last night. Sophia, did you read it last night or today?
Last night.
Okay, so we both read it last night.
It's like my bedtime story.
That was mine too.
It's good.
My too, to be honest with you. Starts off a long time ago, which really took me for a loop. Love it how it all plays together. How did the story come about? I mean, you're a fantastic storyteller going back to the Arrow and everything else, but how did this story come about? Where did you come up with this idea? Because I got to know.
I first came up with the idea for Far Down Below back in high school. Actually, it was going back into high school and trying to come up with some sort of story that was about the place that I grew up. I grew up in New Jersey, so not exactly Eastern Pennsylvania, but they're not too far off from each other. And I wanted to capture that sort of, growing up in the suburbs, which is obviously, very heavily documented by the Amblin style films like Goonies and E.T. And so I kind of wanted to do this adventure story. I always loved Jules Verne, Journey to the Center of the Earth, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. One of the first films I ever saw was 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Richard Fleischer. And was just obsessed with the Nautilus and Captain Nemo and just this idea that there's this world beneath the surface of the ocean that we all see. And same thing with Journey to the Center of the Earth, where there's a whole other world beneath our own. So that was sort of the idea, was to take the idea of adventures that kids go on in real life, the adventures that I went on with my friends when we were growing up, doing weird New Jersey things, and to spin that and to give it a unique look that also has certain nostalgic value and all that. But
All right, Jeremy, Jar Jar Jeremy, He is a part of the show. He kind of, sort of. He wants to know: are there going to be any Masters of the Universe references in the book?
You know, there's Star Wars references. I don't know how much
Yeah.
are actually legally allowed to make. But yeah, no overt Masters of the Universe references. However, that
Okay.
was a staple when I was growing up. You know,
Okay.
I had a
Mhm.
Skeletor shield that I walked around with for a very long time. So
Nice.
I do have a question about the not Star Wars references. Why are the two boys pro Empire?
uh you gotta play roles, you know. You gotta play roles.
Because I was totally confused. I'm reading it, and then they said this, and then all of a sudden I see the two action figures. I'm like, holy
I did
crap!
see that. I'm like,
Are
interesting. Yeah, I like that though. Why not?
well, you know, it's particular day. You know, they weren't feeling too happy. They were angry
Yeah.
geeks in that moment.
Hey, I
Oh.
like that.
Okay, we have
Yeah.
2 covers for cover number 1. Let's bring up some artwork first, and we'll talk about some pages. I'm only going to have 3 pages to share. 1, 2, 3, 4 pages to share. Because I want people to go out there and read this book. I want them to
Mhm.
see the
No
magic in the
spoilers.
bottle. No, trying not to. But let's go to, I think it's cover A.
Mm.
Amazing. This is cover A, right? Yes.
That's
Thank you,
actually
guys.
cover B, but that's
that
Francesco Francavilla.
Okay, that's
Wait,
cover B.
wait.
Guys, it's labeled wrong. Fired, intern. Okay. Why do we go with this cover? Did you see the cover before it was done? Did you choose this cover? And this is very Stephen King horror, 1980s horror movie cover. I am digging it. Reminds me very much of the early Pet Cemetery or Amityville Horror. Tell me your thoughts on this cover.
Yeah, so I did see the sketch when it came in, and I'm a fan of Francavilla, so I pretty much would have said yes to whatever he would do. But I really liked that he brought in the sequence that begins in 1865 that opens the book. He brought that aspect into it. He includes the house, the so-called haunted house that is really the gateway to adventure for our two heroes, Jeff and Brian.
Okay, so let's go to cover A.
Hmm.
That is also cool. Now, this one reminds me very much of
It.
It.
Yeah.
Really, to me, this is very much Goonie inspired,
Well, that too. Yes.
or The Gate, the 80s horror movie, The Gate. Chris, what is your thoughts on this one, and what was your reaction when you first saw this cover?
Well, so I brought my collaborator from That Texas Blood and the Enfield Gang Massacre on board, Jacob Phillips, to do covers for us. So he's doing all of the A covers. And so when I got this cover in, I kind of felt like it just completely captured, especially the first issue, but the book in general, because it really is the vibe of the book, which is a little bit The Goonies and a little bit It. I mean, It is one of my all-time favorite books. And I definitely, wanted to get that vibe of it, because I do think that there's, whether you're in the 80s and in the films of It, or in the 50s in the book, I do think that there is something that is, there's a weird thing between the 50s and the 80s where they kind of feel very similar. It was a very commercial time. Television was just coming into its own, and you really had this kind of the boom of the post World War II era, which is really interesting. And then you juxtapose that with the 80s, where it was likewise a similar kind of commercial boom, and then you have like Spielberg and all these things that are sort of pushing commodities and products. So I do think that there's a very interesting relationship there. But in terms of the cover, I just think that it absolutely just perfectly captures what we wanted to do with the book. And I think that each subsequent cover that Jake has done is just completely captured the vibe of that particular issue, and just continues to drive us further and further down below. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No spoiler intended here, but this is something that just clicked on me as I'm looking at this cover. Is it gonna rain throughout the whole series? First issue, that was the whole thing. The mom was like, "Hey, it's raining. Why are you guys gonna go do this?" And
Because
now
it's
I'm looking
raining.
at the cover. Yeah, now I'm looking at the cover and I see the rain. So
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, is that something that we don't know about? Is that something that, or is that just coincidence, or am I overthinking this?
It's just a coincidence. It's just coincidence. No, but it is raining in the first issue, and that's sort of what sets off the
The vibes.
adventures. Kids alone on a rainy day. You know, isn't there anything better for us to be doing? And why not go for an adventure? You know, so that's really all it is. And I also just think that there's something inherently atmospheric and theatrical and dramatic about a thunderstorm, a rainstorm.
Hmm.
So I love to set things during a storm. You know, I'm always putting things with, you know, thunder and lightning, and I just think that there's nothing more dramatic and natural. So
Okay, Sophia, I'm gonna pull up some more artwork. You want to feel the comments for me?
Yes. All right.
Right.
So, boom. Okay. Void says, "Why wouldn't you be pro Empire? They looked cooler." I definitely was always like Team Sith. Not gonna lie.
you know, I
Go
think
ahead.
that that's always the thing with Star Wars is that you collect both. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
you're both simultaneously. You know,
true.
there's good and dark in everybody.
Yeah.
She's the one who got me wearing horns over my cowboy hat for crying out loud. All right. Any other comments before I bring up some? I'm gonna
And
bring up.
we got Guy saying, "So should we judge a book by its cover?"
Sure. You
All
want.
right, Sophia.
Right.
Out of 5 Angry Geek shields. No, we're gonna wait till the end before we rate the book.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
bring up. Yeah, let's bring up this page.
Rawr.
Yes, this.
Rawr.
Just it just explains for itself here.
Well-
It's just whoa. All right, intern. Thank you. He was trying to make the page a little bit bigger. It's not going to work.
It's a noise. It's making noises.
Yes. All
Mhm.
right. So let's go to the next page with some dialogue now. Chris,
Fortnite.
you wanna- yeah, Fortnite. No, it's not Fortnite. Can you explain to us what is happening in these panels?
Yeah, so there is a subterranean drill. In 1865, this group of scientists that believe that there is a hollow Earth have drilled beneath the surface using a rudimentary tank, locomotive type engine, and have drilled beneath the surface of the Earth.
Okay.
Awesome.
Now they talk about the Civil War going on.
Yeah.
How did they build this? I want to
With-
know the story behind that.
Well, that's I hope we get a sequel. I would
Yes!
love to do a sequel.
I'm gonna call,
Scientists.
I am going to call Melissa and say I want a sequel on how they built the damn machine.
The engineers.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna do because I'm reading it and I'm like, okay, cool. And then I go back and I see the date. I'm like, wait a minute. Did they
Yeah.
just? I went back and read it again, and I'm like, hey, I want to know how they built that because there's
Yeah.
other books. I'm like, okay, all right, next page. Now again, this is the scientist, and this is what happens. Now you don't go messing in the Hollow Earth. This is the moral of the story here.
Mhm.
I don't want to spoil anything. Okay. Explain to us why you chose this art. What did you see how did you feel when you first saw your ideas, your words, your feelings come to life on these panels?
I'm really fortunate to have a fantastic artist on Far Down Below named JJ Shaw. JJ previously did a book at Image Comics called Made in Korea that I thought was fantastic, and I thought that JJ would do an interesting job on Far Down Below, and in fact, I just got the letters in for issue 3 and was completely just blown away by the work in it. I think that each issue kind of has its own sort of thrill about it, a different, unique thing. Some of them may be monsters, some of them may be something else, and that's kind of one of the fun things about the book, is seeing all these things that I had dreamed up many years ago and kind of always thought it was cool. But you know, it was just, to me, I was the only fan of it as far as I know. But you know, finally getting to do it as a book, to see it come to life, to really, you know, get to experience it like any fan would. Reading the book has just been a thrill. And yeah, JJ was one of my top choices for the book. Was really thrilled when we got JJ to do the book. And it, you know, it's just been phenomenal. She's just designed an amazing book, top to bottom. The colors are amazing. They certainly evoke that sort of the 80s vibe, that 80s feel. But all the design work is just amazing. It's a really cool book. The best thing I can say about the book is that I think I would be reading it even if I didn't write it.
It looks really cool.
Huh?
It looks really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, but that's all JJ. You know, I wrote it, but JJ brought it to life. So
Okay. So last page. Brutal. Just, I mean, this part right here, this one panel to the last panel, kind of the second to last panel, kind of reminded me of the boogeymen from March of the Wooden Soldiers. I don't know why. It's just, I got that vibe as I read it, and there was one of them right there. I don't know if that. I just got that vibe, and can you help me elaborate on that? Why I got that vibe? Because we also had that other panel that we can't talk about. There was a lot of
Stuff and things.
Yes. Things looking around, let's say, bright things. And I just got the boogeyman from, I just had that feeling of the boogeyman from March of the Wooden Soldiers.
Well, that's interesting that you would go to March of the Wooden Soldiers. I wanted to, first of all, I can't imagine anything, you know, when the lights go out, if you're alone in your house, and this is a house that you know every nook and cranny of it, you know all of, you know, the hallways, you know each room, you know where everything is in your house. When the lights go off, what happens to you?
I get scared to call my wife.
Yeah, there's nothing more terrifying than having that thing that we all have come to rely on, light.
Yeah.
Just
There's
inextricably gone. And
there's a noise and a dog is barking. I say, babe, I think the dog's barking. I ain't going down.
But I think that, you know, applying that to, you know, because it's already scary, you know, being in a dark room, even if you know the space, you know, you put yourself into a space that you've never been in before, a space that's never been explored before, and the lights go out, and it wasn't by your doing. Something is putting those lights out, and I couldn't think of anything more terrifying than that. And then you have to wonder, if you're beneath this, if you're in the center of the earth, what is down there? What is down there that could be moving around, that could be doing this, that could be hunting you?
Right.
And that was kind of the I thought intriguing opening segment of Far Down Below. Which, yeah, it opens in 1865, like we had been saying, and it jumps forward to 1983, which is where we meet our main characters, Jeff and Brian.
Okay, so
yeah, I hope I explained.
It explained a lot without giving it away, because I want to get more deep into this, and I am just like, okay, I'm very not good at giving stuff away, or
Ooh, could that be email coming my way?
hello, Jessica.
Oh, Jessica.
Yes. When it comes to something I'm passionate about, like comics, I want to talk about it. I want to talk about different things. I want to talk about that line at the end of the comic that got me, and be like, Chris, you SOB, why did you have to do issue 2 right now?
It's a cliffhanger.
I know it's a cliffhanger, but God, you don't do that to a comic addict. Okay?
Oh.
You just don't do
Yes, that's what the whole point.
Yeah.
Dingleberry.
And we got a dingleberry. Okay. No, you just don't do that because it just sucks so bad.
It does, but that makes you want to buy more.
That makes you want to pick up the next issue the next month.
For
You know?
sure.
Well,
Hmm.
there is a phenomenon in the comics world of buying number 1 and not buying number 2, 3, 4, or 5 of a series. And so that you want to avoid that. You want to have people come back for
Yes.
more. And how else can you do that than by
like that
giving
hook and
them
bait.
something? Oh, I want to know what happened.
Well, that's why you guys come on this shows, because like Sophia and I get the books, we read the books, and we're like, dude, you knocked it out of the park here. I read them and then be like, go get number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like Sophia right now, she's going after a book that an Image book that I told her to buy and to read, and now she just bought a whole bunch of them, and now she can't find book number 1, 2, and 3. And I'm not giving her mine because they are up there in prices right now. And I'm like, dude, you got to get this. And I'm hoping for you. Now, this is a 6-issue limited series or 5? I can't remember. 5. I'm hoping for this success. And we'll get to some more. What's up, Jacob Marley? Mr. Keith Russell's in house. I'm hoping for this success for you with this book. But, dude, you don't want to get hit, because I know a lot of LCSs are only buying so many of the new books coming out from a lot of the publishers. So you have to go and get these books. What does Voight say, Sophia?
Let's see. He says, but if you can't do it to a comic addict, then who should you do it to?
True. Very true. Very, very,
Valid.
very valid point. Valid point. Valid point. But I'm telling you guys, Free Comic Book Day is this Saturday when you're in the LCS and you're getting your free comics. I'm pretty sure most of them are going to have a comic sale, but go to that new comic book rack and find this book. You're not going to be disappointed.
Yeah,
If you love the Goonies, if you love Spiderwick, if you loved E.T., if you love Stranger Things, you're gonna love this book.
Thank you, man goat. You
Yes.
are the goat.
Yes, he is the goat. Thank you very much, brother. You're gonna love it. If you can't get him there, go to Mad Cave Studios and get the book. You will definitely be hooked. This is a book you're gonna pick up, not want to put it down.
You're gonna want the next issue.
Yeah, because I want it now.
Yeah.
Right when I was done, I wanted
Oh,
it.
it's done already. No.
Because it's fantastic. Now, my other question, the doll. Does the doll have anything to do with this? Or was that just a throwback to a movie from the 80s, Poltergeist?
The doll, it's a Raggedy Ann doll.
I saw that.
And Raggedy Ann and Andy were just sort of mainstays in my house, growing up. I had older parents, and we had Raggedy Ann and Andy around. And I just thought, going back to when that house would have been abandoned, it made sense that there would be childhood ephemera around, and I thought it made sense to put a Raggedy Ann in there. Also, I just think it is it's one of those things that when you see it, you associate something with it,
Mhm.
and then when you subvert that expectation with something that happens to the Raggedy Ann.
Dude, well, first of all, it was frightening because, like, we're not gonna say what happened, but the way she drew it,
Yeah, I
I
was
mean,
like,
you see
ooh.
it, and then all of a sudden, it's got its own panel, and I'm like,
Yes, it escalated quite quickly.
Yeah.
what the hell are they doing? Okay, yes, and it did escalate quite quickly. It
Yes.
did.
Yeah.
It's a frightening book,
Mm,
so
it is.
it's.
Well,
Dude,
I
you
hope it's
nailed it.
more than fright. I hope it's fun. I hope it's thrilling. I hope it's a little spooky here and there. But yeah, to me, it was. I wanted to hit all of those kinds of those points, and a lot of it is. I mean, they're sort of almost cliche things now, but I mean, a lot of those things were pulled from my childhood. Like, for example, my great aunt had a farmhouse that was hit by lightning during an awful rainstorm, and I remember that very clearly because it was just the flames, and
Do
just this
tell.
idea that lightning could do something like this was like a terrifying realization, because I always just thought it was this really cool thing beforehand. Kids on bikes, and again, lightning
Mm.
with a water tower, like all sorts of things. It's sort of, it all just was, pulling from my childhood and pulling from the things that I remembered, and the things that I experienced, and trying to think of, well, how can I apply this to this story? What can I do with this?
Relatable.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think that one of the things that I was, thinking about the book is that, the first issue sort of, a lot of places it was sort of promoted as being a horror book, and it has horror elements, but it's
Yeah,
not a horror book. I would call it more an adventure book.
yeah, it
Um,
definitely.
and
Well,
that's
go
oh, go
ahead.
ahead.
No, no, no. I was just gonna say, well, let's go back into the reference of the Goonies or Super 8 or even Stranger Things. They
Yeah.
have horror elements in it, but they're also adventure, and that's exactly what you get out of this book. You're
Yes.
you're getting that adventure element. Even
Yeah.
Spiderwick, you're
I mean,
getting, and it's perfect. I mean, you took this and you wrapped it up nice and tight like a burrito from Chipotle, and you cooked it to perfection, my brother, and it is fantastic. And dude, it's got to be more. I mean, I've more than 5 issues. It's fantastic.
well, I mean, I hope so. I mean, where we leave things at the end of issue 5, it opens it up where we could continue on, into further issues if we are allowed to. If the publisher wants us to do more, I would certainly love to do that. I've never really honestly thought about where I would go from there, even though I've had this story kicking around for nearly 20 years at this point. But it's an interesting sort of idea, like, to think about what would happen next. So I really hope that we do get to that point. But yeah, I do think that talking about that relationship between horror and adventure, I do think that there is something inherently horror adjacent about adventure, especially if you think about it in terms of that opening sequence again. In a lot of ways is an adventure sequence that is a horror sequence at the same time, because when you're discovering something, when you're going into the black, into the darkness, and you're just exploring, you're the first one to be doing this thing. There's something inherently terrifying about that, and I think that that's a through line that runs throughout the book. And I hope that that's something that people continue to detect and find it both scary, thrilling, but also, I hope, revelatory in the in what you discover, because I do think that it's it's an exciting book. And again, it's all I wrote the script. I like what I did, but my collaborators really did a fantastic job bringing it to life.
They certainly did. All right. This is a great segue to go into why Mad Cave. Why did you choose Mad Cave Studios as a publisher?
Well, the funny answer is that they wanted to do the book.
Really? That
no,
that
yeah.
is amazing because I mean we find that they just want to do so much and they are such great people to work with, and
Yeah.
it's just so cool. Okay.
Yeah, so I had done a book with Mike Martz, the editor-in-chief of Mad Cave, while he was at Aftershock. It was called Hell's a Squared Circle. It is a noir wrestling horror-adjacent story. It's sort of an EC homage, tale of comeuppance. A guy does a bad thing, it comes back to bite him later. And it's just a one-shot story, and I really liked working with Mike. The book came out exactly how I wanted it to. And so we had, right from there, we had interest in working together again. I was pitching him a story then that's actually going to be an Image Comics release in June called News and the Fallout. But, you know, I ended up not doing it with him, ended up doing it at Image. But Mike went over to Mad Cave and he reached out to me when he was there and started talking to him about doing this book that I had wanted to do forever called Far Down Below. And sort of sent him the rough pitch, and he was already interested, and wrote a longer outline, and you know, he greenlit it almost immediately. And that was probably 2 years ago at this point. It was a while ago already. But you know, he believed in it then, and I really have to thank him for that, for you know putting his weight behind it. And then just a fantastic team at Mad Cave helped bring it to life. Marla Isaac, who is my editor. We had a relationship previously at Image. She was at Image when I was doing that Texas Blood, and so we knew each other from then. And so it was kind of like this big family reunion in a lot of ways, which was kind of fun, unexpected but fun. And yeah, they had a great knack for finding great talent, great creators to work with, great editors. And the titles that they have been putting out have just been fantastic. And I'm really thrilled to have a book with Mad Cave, especially this book, which is it really is a dream come true having this book out there. So
Awesome.
Hey, it's time to pay the bills, and it's now time for Quiz with Quinzel.
Okay. Hi. All right, I'm going to ask a question, and you have to answer correctly. Okay. What is the longest running animated television show in the United States?
Oh please. Oh please.
longest running animated show?
Oh, yes. Why? What?
The Simpsons.
Thank you. That's what I was going to say. Right here in Northampton, Massachusetts. Thank you. You were right down the street from them. Yes.
Yes.
Week after week, you embarrass us in front of our guests.
Why is that embarrassing?
Because you
Oh,
get
right up
easy
your
questions. No,
butthole.
you always get easy questions all the time. All the time. You get easy questions.
I thought maybe it was a trick question, but
There was a trick
no.
question last week that I stumped Lewis on, by the
No.
way.
No, I wasn't even here last week.
No, yes, you were. Yes, you
No,
were.
No, it
We
wasn't.
met. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
sir, we met.
Yeah, it's because Melissa. Never mind. Hey! We do have to pay the bills once again, and it's time for Question of the Week. And the Question of the Week is brought to us by Alternate Universe LLC in Milford, Connecticut, where it's new comic book day every Wednesday, of course, like all LLCs. But this Saturday, at all LLCs, it is free comic book day. And I want you to go to your LLC, get your free comics. And no. It's not every comic is free. Don't go in there and see Hulk 181 and go, I want that for free. It doesn't work like that. You only get certain books for free. Okay? And don't go in there and say, hey, I was watching the Angry Geeks and I saw this approved book far down below. I want that for free. No, that doesn't work like that either. You're only going to get certain books for free on new comic
It's going to be
book.
marked. It'll be a section that is marked.
That's right. You get those books for free. Then, don't be a schlub. I want you to go to the new rack and buy this book right here. Okay. If you don't get that cover, I want you to get this cover and I want you to read it. Then I want you to go back and buy issue 2 because it's a cliffhanger on this one. And it's just a couple little words. Well, anyway, I'm going to be in Milford this Saturday for Free Comic Book Day. Sophia's going to be out elsewhere, and Jar Jar Jeremy is going to be at his LLC. Chris, you are our guest, so you get to do question number 1 first, and you're going to do question number 2 first. Are you ready?
Yes.
You look nervous. Don't be nervous. Yogi or Pooh?
Foo.
Yogi or Pooh?
Is that poo?
Yogi.
Yogi. Why? Why Yogi?
He seems like a better Pang, you know. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Okay. Good enough. Good enough. Chat, you can come in now and answer. Sophia, I know your answer. Yogi or
You
Pooh?
do?
Yeah. Because you probably just like the word. Yogi
Oh.
or Pooh.
I was gonna say Yogi because he knows where the snacks are at.
Very surprising.
Yep.
Very, very surprising. I'm going to say Yogi too because he's better
Chat's
than your average
answering.
bear.
Wow.
Yes, chat is answering. Okay, bring him up. Bring him up.
Bring him up. Bring him up. All right. Ben Hellman. Yogi's my favorite. Will Yates.
10 out of 10 for Yogi.
Wow. All right.
Oh, wait, Mangoat. Yogi seems like he could hold a better conversation. I don't know. I mean, Pooh can talk too. That sounded really weird.
I knew it. I knew. All right.
Hey, boo boo.
Hey, boo boo. All right. Question number 2. Chris, are you ready?
I'm ready.
See, now you don't look too nervous now. You're like, okay, these are normal questions. Melissa lied. Okay.
Oh, Ryan Santos.
Have you ever gone down a one-way street the wrong way? Have you ever gone down a one-way street the wrong way?
No.
He's thinking. No, you haven't.
No, but I've been in a car that has.
Then you have.
Well,
Yeah,
I guess.
it
but
doesn't
not-
specify
not-
driving.
Not of my own volition.
Okay. All right. Chat, get ready to answer. Sophia, have you ever gone down a one-way street the wrong way?
Yes.
Yeah.
In my
I have.
Challenger to add.
Oh my God. Elaborate, please.
The GPS said take a turn, and I took the turn, and it wasn't the way that it should have went.
Was it coming to my house? Because there's a lot of one-way streets.
No, this was a couple years more than a couple years ago. I think like it was like a recently one-way street, and the GPS wasn't updated, so technically it wasn't my fault, kind of.
Okay. I'm going to say yes as well. Me and one of my best buds.
You almost did last week. He said no.
Yes. That's right. Yeah, and we're coming back from the radio station in Northampton. Yes. Yes. Well,
Chat
one of my-
also answered.
okay. Yes. All right. We'll get to the chat. Pull up the chats. When Will Yates says yes. My best bud and I, one of my best buds. We're going to see Kevin Smith live for the first time, and we went down a one-way street, and we could not stop laughing the entire time. I almost
dang.
both. Yes.
Oh,
Another
no.
chat.
Chat. So Will Yates says yes. Ben Hellman says in a car passenger. Okay. Void says yes multiple times on purpose.
Purpose? What the? You have a death wish? Okay, keep going.
Void did say a couple things up above.
Okay, bring him up. Do
Bring
your
him up, bring him
job.
up. Okay, Void says, since Guy is currently AFK, I guess it falls to me to do this. Is Sophia going to be in it in some way? The
Ugh.
comic book, since it's kind of a tradition to do by now. Haha.
All right, so what that question means, Chris, is our audience love to. This is going to be a weird way to say it, but they love to pimp out Sophia to get her in multiple comic books. So they are wondering if Sophia is going to be in issue 3, 4, or 5 of the book. Since number 3 is already out, is Sophia going to be in issue 4 or 5?
Well, unfortunately, all of the issues are drawn, but in the sequel, perhaps.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh my
Cool.
God. And
Possibly,
Ryan
possibly.
Santos, we have to get you a date. We are booking
Yes.
mid-June at the moment, just so you know, Ryan. Sophia and our agent are in charge of booking because I screw up all the time. So we are booking mid-June. So, what
Oh,
is the difference?
Mango. Hold up, Mango. Someone was driving, but yes, GPS said to turn left. We were suddenly on a oncoming traffic. Yep. Thank
Okay.
GPS.
What is more fulfilling? Writing a self-creation or writing a character many people have worked on before?
I mean, they have different. You feel different responsibilities. Because really, I mean, when you're writing something for yourself, it's just the responsibility is for you to do a good job to in service of the idea that you came up with, and then to the publisher and to the audience that's going to be reading it, because you're putting your heart out there for people, and you don't want to be doing a bad job. You don't want to be telling a bad story. Whereas with doing, work with DC or Marvel, whether it's Green Arrow or Ultimate Wolverine, the thing that I think about is the people who've done it that have come before. I think a lot about Barry Windsor Smith's Weapon X. I think about Chris Claremont, Frank Miller, their work on Wolverine. I really think about that's something that I'm always thinking to myself. I like to be in conversation with the things that came before, and I think that's in the Green Arrow that I'm doing, the company that sort of started the bad times that are chronicled in my Green Arrow first arc, was featured in the 4-issue Mike Barr, Trevor Von Eden miniseries, the first Green Arrow solo series from 1983. And then our next arc is a conversation with Snowbirds Don't Fly, the great Denny O'Neil, Neil Adams story. And so that's just something that I like to do for myself, because I love this stuff. I literally have stacks of comics like right next to me. Like I literally have just comics everywhere.
I got comics.
Godzilla Masterpiece Theater. I'm just like I got comics. I got my Green Arrow toy right here. I got like everything is here. This is what I do. So when I'm like thinking to myself, like, what's like what would be an interesting way to spin this, especially with something like Ultimate Wolverine. It's like I'm always thinking about like what did they do? How did they do it? Now how can I do it different? So everything's always in service of that, of being a fan and thinking about how I would like to have seen it. What would make me excited seeing that? So they're sort of in service of different things, but they have different. I don't know. It's a little different, but I don't know which one I prefer.
Okay. All right. Sorry for putting you on the spot. I just like to ask these type of questions because you guys don't get asked these questions by anyone except for us.
This is true.
Yeah, except for us. So you come on here, you don't know what you're going to be asked, but
only
I like
people with horns. I don't know.
So I mean, I'm sure Melissa warned you. Oh, you're going to get asked hard-hitting questions. Yeah, brother. Next question. Now, this is a staple question. Sophie and I asked this of all our guests. A lot of our fans, a lot of our followers, they like their crap autographed. They like it signed. If you're not at a con in our area, if you're not at a con in some of our listeners, some of our viewer area, do you have a P.O. box? Do you have an assistant that they can get this book, wrap it up real tight, wrap it up in a box like they got it off of Whatnot or eBay, and ship it to you, to this P.O. box, so you can sign it and ship it back to them on their dime, not on yours?
I mean, I have done that before. I just, people who reach out to me, they're on I'm on Blue Sky, and I'm also on Patreon. If people
Hey,
message
we're
me
gonna
on
get that.
Patreon.
We're gonna get to the shout outs at the end. Save
Well,
it.
but that's
Build it
how
up.
people can contact me. You know.
Okay.
You know, and I don't have a PO box. I probably should.
I'm sure you
but
could set one up.
what was that?
I'm sure you could set one up or figure it out through Messenger
Yeah,
anyway.
I need to. Yeah, I just need to do it. There's like a million things I need to do. I need to make an
Mm.
LLC at some point, and I'm like, I don't
Wait,
know
sounds
what
like
I'm doing.
someone I know.
I have an LLC.
No, not you. A million things that you need to do.
Oh yes.
Yeah, because right now I'm just an independent contractor, but I hear that I will be better off if I start an LLC. So I'm like, I got to do that, and that was like 2 years ago. I said that I ought to do that. But yeah, if people wanted to send stuff my way, I would absolutely be willing to sign it. I will be up in for Free Comic Book Day. I will be at a different shop than you, Lewis. but
Shout out, please. Shout out. Go ahead.
I will be in Enfield, Connecticut for a signing.
I know, and I bet you. Is it have an excellent name?
Yes.
And you're gonna be with Jar Jar.
Oh.
Oh, really? Okay.
Saturday, you're gonna be with my brother. You're gonna be with Jeremy Courtney,
Okay.
Jar Jar Jeremy.
Yes.
So
yeah.
you're gonna be with one of the Angry Geeks this weekend. So
Very cool.
yeah, maybe as I am coming back from mine, we'll stop by and hang out with you and say hi.
Please do. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, but you will be with Jar Jar this Saturday, and just make sure you say hi and get a picture with Jar Jar. But I will hopefully, in passing, if I'm not there too long, I will come on down because I'm just minutes away from there, about 40 minutes or so from Western Mass. So definitely, and you're surprised I knew, weren't you?
A little bit, but I want people to come, so I'm glad that this is getting out there.
Yes, most excellent comics in Enfield. Jar Jar Jeremy will be there this Saturday, Free Comic Book Day. Chris is going to be there with Joe St. Pierre as well.
Joe.
So make sure you stop there and see Chris and Joe. Get the comics, get some stuff, get the book signed, and of course say hi to Jar Jar as he's there because Sophia's going to be at a convention this weekend.
Yeah.
What
I'm gonna
convention?
CT Horror Fest. I'm gonna be meeting the actor David, Art the Clown, and then some of the cast will be
Okay.
there as well. So
Very cool.
Yeah, we're all.
If you can't be at a Free Comic Book Day, that's a good place to be.
Yeah, our family is broken this week. Well,
I'm broken.
broken apart. No, not broken. You know, just spread apart. Spread apart this week.
Split. Yeah.
Yeah. We're split apart. Okay, so what is next? What's the next project? What's your next genre that you're going to work on? What's your next era of time? Where are you going to?
Yes.
What's you going to tackle next?
Well,
Oh, you had a devilish smile. You had a twinkle in your eye and a devilish smile. I want to know, brother. What are you working on?
my next book is called it's a one shot from Oni Press. It's called The Goddamn Tragedy.
Okay.
It's set in the 1800s in 1846, and it is the Donner Party meets The Shining.
Oh.
And then in June, I have a new mini-series that's going to be debuting. It's called News from the Fallout. It is with an artist named Jeffrey Allen Love.
Thank you.
It is a horror, sci-fi, dark fantasy, and the best way to describe it would be it's apocalyptic Americana.
Well, we're gonna have you back to talk about that.
Yes.
I would love to talk about it. I'd love to have Jeff on too to talk about it. He's
Absolutely. Get a hold of
fantastic.
Melissa. Let's book you. Let's get a hold of Melissa. Let's book you. Who are the studios? Who is publishing these books?
Yeah, so Goddamn Tragedy is Oni Press, and News from the Fallout is going to be with Image Comics.
Oh, nice. All right, yeah, get a hold of Melissa. Let's book you. We are booking mid-June, but let's get you back on
For
here
sure.
for sure. All right, Chris. Now's the time. Let's pimp you. Let's tell people where to find you online. let's pimp you, you sexy SOB. Tell everyone where they can find you, including this Saturday.
I am on Blue Sky at Christoph Condon. It's Christopher without the ER, just the way my license is, and I decided to run with it. Because for some reason, the state of New Jersey can't fit Christopher, one of the most common names. But yeah, so Christoph Condon on Blue Sky. I don't know. So then, like, I have a million forums where people think my name is Christoph, and I'm like, no, it's Christopher. It's a thing. So at Christoph Condon on Blue Sky, and then I'm also on Patreon, patreon.com/Condon Phillips. It is a mutually owned Patreon between myself and Jacob Phillips, my artist from the Enfield Gang Massacre and That Texas Blood, as well as the covers from Far Down Below, and I try to get him on covers of everything. He did a fantastic cover for Green Arrow that's going to be on issue 25. And yeah, so I have a podcast on there. We post newsletters talking about what we're doing. I just actually talking about Far Down Below. I've posted a podcast with JJ Shaw, my artist, on Far Down Below. It's about an hour and 20 minutes. It's a good conversation. I've also marked it for free for people. So if they want to come over, you just got to sign up for a free tier, and you have access to that podcast conversation. Not to cross-pollinate here with your guys' show, but
absolutely, brother. Don't you worry about that. This is what we do. This is
I appreciate it. And then I also posted up like I appreciate it. But yeah, so I also posted up a process video that JJ made for a sequence that's actually from issue 3 of Far Down Below. So if you don't mind a spoiler or two, definitely check it out. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it if you do check it out. But yeah, both are available for free. Just with that, you have to sign up for the free tier. But yeah, both are available for free. Usually it's like $1 is usually like the gateway in, but yeah, so we and I write letters to people every month. I write letters and we send postcards out to people every month. So
write that down.
We have a good community.
Yes. Because speaking, this is a great segue. Sophia and I, the Angry Geeks, finally jumped on the Patreon wagon. So, yeah, we're
trying to come up with ideas.
Postcard. I mean, I was gonna do a calendar of myself.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that could be.
I gotta sign up for that alone.
Yay! Heck yeah.
I can imagine it. You in a Speedo with a fire truck behind you.
Oh yes.
Well, it's got to be rhinestones. It has to be rhinestones.
Mm-hmm.
But we won't.
You have to glisten in the light.
We won't elaborate on that. Sophia, tell everyone where they can find you and us, please.
Okay, you can find me, Sophia Cormier, on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Cameo, and Blue Sky, and now on Patreon. You can find the Angry Geeks on the same platforms and the AngryGeeksShow.com.
Hey, and I am Lewis Perry. You can find us here every Monday night. Hey, if you see us walking around town, make sure you say hi. Yeah, that's right. You heard me when I'm talking about. And Lewis in cosplay, bathing suits. Hell yeah. That's right, brother. I'm the Tower of Power. I'm too sweet to be sour. We're funky like a monkey. We are the Angry Geeks. Thank you for spending this hour with us. Make sure you go get Far Below. Stop by and see Chris this weekend at Most Excellent in Enfield with Jar Jar, Dingleberry, and we will see you guys next week with a whole brand new guest. Bye.